Yo, what's up, people? I'm back. Just had a bit of a chat about health and well-being and stuff. And then at the end, I kind of talked a bit about manifestation. That's something I've been looking into lately. I do believe some parts of it, but I'm not too sure about the whole kind of. Some people talk about like the quantum physics and quantum jumping and all that. I don't know. I mean, I'm open-minded, but like, I think a lot of it comes down to your subconscious mind and how our subconscious mind is like really powerful. And when we believe we can do something, then your subconscious mind will find a way. It will be kind of you'll be subconsciously like looking for opportunities, and like doors start to open. Now, some people like they get into religion, yeah, they believe in God because they believe that He can solve them. Like they do prayer and all that, and I think it just comes down to like your belief in yourself, like your faith in yourself that when things are going bad, that you'll find a way. And I think a lot of it's the subconscious mind. Or some say like 95% of our brain activity is subconscious. So you got to remember that most of what's going on is subconscious, and it's about trying to program your subconscious with positive affirmations, and but you have to actually believe in it, because you can't just give it affirmations and not believe it. You have to learn to believe in yourself, which can be difficult. It might take a while of just like deprogramming old belief systems, and especially if you've had like a lot of negative reinforcement in your life. Thank you for the likes, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Make sure you share this out if you can. Hello to you, Jaden. I don't really believe in God as such. Anyway, make sure you like the live, guys. But I was talking about more of the fuck's sake. Alright, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, obviously trolling. But that Jaden, I think there was a guy called Jaden who used to troll me, so I don't know if that's the same person or if it's just the same name. But hello, Yogi. Thank you for sharing me out. Thank you for liking. How are you doing? You all right? Are you going live tonight? Yeah. So hope everybody's had a good day today. So I was talking a bit about manifestation. I don't know if that's something that you've looked into yourself, but a lot of it, I think. No. Okay, then cool. About the subconscious mind and how that's powerful, and that whatever narrative that you have in your own mind, that's what you create. Yeah, live around 5:25 my time. Oh, cool. Yeah, that would be good then. So yeah, but basically, so it's about like subconscious mind, reprogramming it with positive beliefs, because you can't just give yourself these affirmations if you don't genuinely believe it. Then what's the point? You just because it's just words then. Like, words themselves have no intrinsic meaning. We give them meaning based on what we think of them. Like when someone says the word love, you might think of a certain thing in your mind, of like a couple being in love with each other. And then, like, say someone might, when you think of the word hate, you might conjure an image in your head. But, when we have thoughts about ourselves, it's like, where you might say that you're confident and this and that, and that I am worthy, but then deep down you don't actually believe it unless you actually attach that word to you, like if that attach that meaning of that word to you. Because you could just be saying it, and do you actually believe it though? Hit the like, guys, for these 14 watching. Yeah, it's gone down to 7 already, but But I saw that there was a lot on Jace's live earlier with Stuart, but yeah, make sure you like the live, guys, if you don't mind. So it's not the same one, Jaden. Okay, then yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. That'd be really appreciated. So but yeah, basically, yeah, like I don't know if you believe in any of the manifestation, but I see it as more of like it has to do with the subconscious mind. So I'm learning how subconscious mind is really important when it comes to bringing about the reality that you want. Because if you subconsciously don't believe in yourself, then it's not going to look for opportunities to make it happen. Because the thing is, it's like whatever we believe can happen, it will happen because it will find a way. Like people have invented stuff. People have done some really quite crazy things with their life. It's like it's not out of anybody's reach to become something. Like if you really want it that bad, a lot of it comes down also to the will and the determination. So part of it comes down to subconscious mind programming it with that, but you have to want it bad enough as well. So hello DD. Yeah, so true. If you don't believe in yourself, you'll find yourself subconsciously rejecting opportunities. Yeah, or you'll just not even be looking for opportunities. But when you believe in yourself, you'll see, like subconsciously see it arising. Like maybe it's a job, maybe it's something else. And then when you believe in yourself and you get to the interview, then you're projecting out that confidence, and then you're more likely to get the job. Also, if you're going out and you talk to somebody that you're interested in, it's more likely going to work out because you have this confidence, you believe in yourself that it's going to work. And that, of course, there's certain things out of your control, but it does help. It's the power of the subconscious is something that is underrated. I think it can either mess you up or it can. It's either going to be your best friend or it's going to be your kryptonite. And for a lot of people, it's their kryptonite, where they keep talking themselves out of things and be like, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm just a average person," and it's like there's nothing special about me. But if you're telling yourself that, then that is true. Then whatever you tell yourself, it is true. It will fulfill itself. Unless something. Unless you get luck happen to you. Some people just get lucky, like they win the lottery or something like that, but it's like it's not going to happen based on like your kind of if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, agree 100%. I think people can sense your aura, and if you are sure of yourself, I don't know. Yeah, I think there is something to that. Like I think that it's even things like there's been studies on like people with like kind of how like that we're affected by our environment. So it happens subconsciously that it's like people can they don't experience it consciously, but it's like it could be even things like a certain like scent that people are giving off. For example, like you hear about pheromones and stuff like that, and they were saying how like certain people would like bond because of that pheromones, and the problem is when they like spray stuff on and then they lose that, and then they end up getting with the wrong person because it's not compatible, and then but it's also, I don't know, there could be more to it than that, whether it's frequencies or whatever. And it's interesting, there was this thing called the rice experiment. I don't know how legit it is, I've not tried it myself, but there'd be three like containers of rice. One had love, one had hate, and one had ignore on it. The ones that had hate and ignore rot, and the one with love on it stayed more intact. So make of that what you will. Was there something happening subconsciously where you cheated the experiment? I don't know, but But yeah. Yeah, but yeah, the auras are a bit of a kind of, they're not an exact science, but it's something like emerging, really. It's just, yeah, probably catch up eventually with a lot of these esoteric kind of concepts. But like some people believe there could be like some psychic abilities in a sense. Like I remember there was this guy called Rupert Sheldrake, and he was, kind of known for his theories on a thing called morphic resonance. I mean, it might be a lot of bullshit. I don't know. I've not like looked into it too much, but he had this theory that there's like telepathic communication going on between organisms. Hi, Kexter. How you doing? Alrighty. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, it just sounds a bit like magical to me. So I'm quite skeptical of these sort of things. Yeah. Well. Okay. So basically, we might be able to like communicate with, with other, even things like other species of animals, and the ability to like kind of send telepathic messages to them. And there's this whole thing about when people experience like feeling like hostility in a room or something like that, and it's like they can't explain it, but they just feel like they're not welcome, even though no one has explicitly said it. I mean, it could be just, you could say it might just be body language or something like that, perhaps in some cases, but there's things that we're experiencing at a subconscious level, is what I'm saying, that we can't explain it, but it's just, so yeah, we have to just kind of go with our gut, because our gut is what's basically, yeah, like it's kind of like a second brain. Morphic resonance is what Sheldrake calls it. Yeah, yeah, that's what he calls it. Yeah, like he kind of coined that term, didn't he? But I don't know. It was I remember him talking about like there was some experiment done where basically they had a choice between four people, and they would have to guess who was going to call them, and apparently they got it right 40% of the time, which was way over the chance rate, like statistically significantly more. But was that a legitimate experiment? How many participants were there? Was it done in like test conditions, kind of thing? So I don't know enough about that. I haven't looked into it, but because sometimes people throw out studies and it biases that aren't necessarily going to be accurate. Yeah, we can tell there is something in the air, man. It's like you're picking up multiple signals all at once and you feel the vibe. Yeah, but it's like one of those that's like there's no exact science. It's just like you have to just kind of just accept it for what it is. That there is something that you are experiencing, whether it's a hormonal thing in the air or whether it's but whatever it is, it's that we are picking up something that is not through words or body language, even, that's telepathically being sent. Well, tele means far. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, like I suppose the point is that we can affect other people. So we could like affect, say, like an outcome by thinking a certain thought about it, because that thought is going to project out a certain frequency or just a certain hormonal response or whatever it is into the ether, and then and then that person receives it, then that, so that it kind of shows like, is there really any free will then? Is the kind of like, you go into like the whole thing of like, is there free will? Because then if you have the power to manifest someone into your life or something into your life, then like, then you're influencing that outcome. But then some people will go on about that there's multiple universes and all this, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's I'm just trying to be more positive now. It's just because the more I just get into the negative thought patterns, then the more I'm just going to create more of that. It doesn't solve anything by being a negative Nigel or whatever, negative Nancy. Like, just, yeah, it's like, what does it solve by trying to just focus on negative things? Because I've done that before, and I'd just like make a rant about things. I'm like, but what? How is that going to solve the issue, though? Some people like to just. For some people, it's like therapy, isn't it? Like complaining about things, but all it's doing is it's a temporary fix for a problem that. It's like trying to drink alcohol to try and forget about your problems, but it's like people would like try to complain about it because they have a sense of like, I don't know, whatever it is, that maybe because they're talking to someone and then they kind of like, maybe they get reassured by that person or whatever, or maybe they get some validation or whatever, but then it's back to square one. Once that wears off, and it's like, but I'm just but still where I am, where I was before. So yeah, anyway, probably won't be on here much longer, maybe just about 5 more minutes. Yeah, who's still watching? Let me know. But yeah, so I think it really doesn't help at all and puts you in a negative mindset, which spreads into other aspects of your life, and it's like an endless loop, like you said. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just end up in the downward spiral of like, because with the mental health, and then that can affect your physical health as well. Like, because if you start thinking, well, I'm getting depressed because I'm just negative, I don't have any, hope for the future, and then you're probably just going to give up on even being healthy and fit and all that, and then because of that, then it's just going to make you feel even more negative because you're giving up on things, and you just end up spiraling deeper and deeper into depression, and until you get help, and then you hopefully would come out of it, but you have to just catch yourself as soon as you start thinking negative thoughts and be like, okay, I need to just take a step back and just evaluate the situation. Does it actually make sense what I'm feeling? Are these thoughts actually valid? Are they actually, are they actually kind of, is it helping me to feel like this? Why am I feeling like this? So this is why you do all like the shadow work and all that, and you do why do I feel like I'm not enough? Why do I not feel confident? Because you might find that it's something deep rooted inside you that you need to address, you need to work with. For some people, they've been through trauma, they've been through a lot of negative reinforcement in their life. Maybe they didn't have a good upbringing. Maybe they never had love and all that. So yeah, just you gotta address a lot of these problems, I think, before you can really start to manifest, I think. So yeah, what's shadow work? I don't know what that means. It has to do with like working with your shadow. It's kind of like something that we have that a lot of people don't want to like admit to it. It's like it's a thing that a lot of people try to suppress these things. Like maybe it's like a trauma, maybe it's some thing that from their past, like it's that there's that's lingering with them. Like maybe they got really badly bullied, and it's really scarred them, and it's like the whole process. It's a process of trying to surrender to it, to kind of like just because it's all about letting go. Is what I realize. It's like whatever things that we've been through, and it's like it's all about yeah, it's about like letting go of the burden on you, and just yeah. So that's something that I think is worth kind of looking into, and for some people it could be from like the past, like with self-image, and that's something they need to work on. It could be, like I said, it could be something bad happened to them, like they got beaten up or abused in some way. Maybe they saw bad things happening to other people, and that's messed them up. It's about working with that, and letting go of all these kind of like I don't want to just keep using the word trauma too loosely, because I think sometimes people use that word too loosely, and even the word narcissist, it's like people use that word quite loosely as well, and it's because sometimes it's not been properly diagnosed. So yeah, people need to just be careful like what words they're using for things. So yeah. Because it's like trauma is kind of like, yeah, because sometimes it can like downplay like actual real trauma, like because yeah, someone might have had some, let's say, like, you know, negative reinforcement, and some might call that trauma, like they got bullied. Maybe it was just like verbal bullying or whatever, and they call that trauma. But I mean, you could say for some people it really was, depending on how they were affected by that. But it's like, I don't know. I hear a lot of people like on social media just like throwing that word around. But whatever you want to call it, it's something you have to address before you can move on. Because if you have some baggage, it needs to be thrown out before you can move on, because that baggage is weighing you back. It's just gonna keep you from, you know, progressing, kind of like a roadblock, and you can't do anything. You're stuck, and you're like, okay, well, I feel like I can't do anything because I've got this shit in my head that I'm like, I don't feel worthy. But then you got to look at, well, why am I feeling that way? Because oftentimes they don't really talk about that in like manifestation, where it's like you got to delve deep into your psyche, and like, because it's like, yeah, you can tell yourself that you're worthy and all that so many times, but like you have to confront these negative feelings and where they've come from. Like you've got to get really deep into it, because sometimes people have such deep-rooted issues. It's going to take more than just positive thinking to get themselves out of it. But you might find that once you start to resolve these issues, then you start to bring things into your life way more easily. So get to the root of the problem first. How do you learn it? It wasn't a book really, it's just a lot of videos and things I was just looking online. So yeah, just find it interesting, because you can then tell people about it and be like, hey, maybe you should look into this. Maybe it'll help you. I mean, there's things that people can do for like trauma to help them, but I mean, there's things like, you know, vagus nerve stimulation and things like that for when they're panicking and stuff like that. But Problem is, they're only temporary relief. There's things like EFT tapping and stuff like that, but you have to kind of like actually really kind of resolve the underlying issue, and some people say it's a lifelong battle with some bad things that have happened depending on the severity of it, that they're going to carry that for life. But it's about mindfulness, and just a lot of it's about like just understanding that when you have these thoughts in your head, that like when you start panicking, then you can sort of like take a step back and observe your thoughts. So I mean, you can probably like use meditation and to really kind of just, if you're feeling these thoughts and it's like, okay, well, why am I feeling these thoughts? Are they valid? Is this something that makes sense? Like, is this just something that is a reoccurring sort of irrational thought that I'm getting? So once you become more aware of like your thoughts and where they've come from, then you can just kind of just like detach from them. Like, your thoughts aren't you. So I think this is what can help, like through the power of just like mindfulness, and you can see, okay, well, that's not my reality. I mean, there's this thing called the chimp paradox, but it's actually I actually listened to the audio version of it, and it kind of talks about the whole idea of the kind of chimp and the human that we have in us, and it's like there's this constant conflict between the two. But yeah, through like meditation, and because it can really help people with like building their confidence and like becoming more like sure of themselves. But to start off with, I would say that you need to actually get to the bottom of like what it is that's actually causing those thoughts. Because if you just be like, oh well, I'll just try and ignore this thought, but it's like you might be struggling with that, because but once you understand where that thought has come from, why you've had it, then you'd be like, oh, this thought is occurring because I was abused as a child or something like that, for example. Just as an example there, it's like, that's when if you become more self-aware of like where your thoughts are from, then so just you can dissociate from them. You can be like, well, that was something that happened to me, but that's not who I am now. I'm not in a dangerous situation right now. So it's about becoming present, and so whenever you have these thoughts, you're like, okay, well, that's just a thought. I'm in the present moment right now. The past does not affect my present moment right now. I refuse to let that, whatever happened, determine what I'm going to do right now. Because I was, you could maybe was in danger then, but now you're not. And it's something to just kind of like look into if you want to try and resolve some of these deep-rooted issues that a lot of people seem to be getting them, or got them from maybe from when they were at school, maybe when they were at home, maybe it was an abusive ex or something like that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you take care. Hope to see you again soon, DD. So, just gotta like learn to be more mindful of, like, say, if you have a negative thought where you're panicking, just to take a step back and realize that maybe that's not rational, but it will take time to start to use that more kind of left brain rational side to counter that irrational emotional side. So there's always this like conflict going on between those sides. And a lot of times that people's emotions get the better of them because in a little bit more of a bit esoteric at one point, and then kind of like grounded myself at the end with kind of talking about more kind of objective kind of stuff that people can do to like improve the situation. It's like it all comes down to like at the start is resolving the baggage. It's like baby steps kind of thing. It's like you have to learn to walk before you can run. If you've got deep rooted issues, forget about like trying to manifest a specific person or whatever, like you some kind of partner or whatever, because you have work to do on yourself. You have to work on your self-image. You have to work on your self-esteem, your confidence, and a lot of that can be some deep-rooted issue that you need to work on. It could be that you went through something and you're going to have to take the time to just process these things, to just kind of like try to move past it. And the thing that I can say is these things can, sort of come up every so often. You have these panicking thoughts, and just be able to remind yourself that everything's okay, you are safe. So maybe that can be something of a thing to just keep reminding yourself, I'm safe. There's nothing bad gonna happen to me. What's the worst that can happen? So yeah. So if your fears or whatever are from something bad in the past, like I said, realizing that that's from the past, your present is not who you was. Your past does not define your present or your future. Even your present does not determine your future. So if you're going through something now, don't be worried that it's going to be like that for life. The only constant is change. So I was actually thinking about talking about that in a video where it's like, nothing's going to last forever. Whatever your situation right now, that's temporary. And yeah. But anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.